What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for being back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna get this thing started. We're gonna put everything back together, get it buttoned up, get it ready to drive, do a couple tests, make sure it's transmitting, shifting right and everything, and then take it for a ride. So hopefully it can happen. Anyway, let me show you guys what was wrong and roll the intro.
I got crazy thoughts that stay on my mind. I promise I'm fine. I'm doing alright. And I'm back again. Have you ever been so gone? Have you ever felt so strong?
All the spark plug wires are right. Everything's hooked up. Everything's bolted down. Fan belt's on. Radiator's full. The nerve I have right now, I am terrified. There's some kind of issue with the distributor. We did a compression test, we got 0 on it. I am going to go inside and cry. Oh, come here, Shelby. Come here. Alright, guys. Ow! Last thing you guys saw was we could not get this thing to fire up for the, like, it was just not happening. It was not firing on anything. I really got to looking. I called a couple people. They gave me a couple ideas. I finally was like, you know what? It could be a timing issue. It could be a couple other things. I'm gonna go ahead and run a compression test. So I ran a compression test. Turned out we had 0 on every single cylinder. Had 0. I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck is causing this? Because I'd already adjusted the valve lash and everything like that, and it was everything was just so wrong. So I was like, what the? How do I have 0 compression to do something wrong with the cylinders, the timing? But I know everything right. I really got to looking. Turns out the valves, the rockers, were way too tight. Whenever the engine was turning over, it was letting all the air through. So I went through compression tests, every single cylinder, make sure we were good, adjusted the valve lash. So we had like, I think 100 PSI on every cylinder. Maybe it was like 95. It was something like that. That's good to go now. I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil because I'm an idiot, accidentally pumped some gas into the oil because I turned it over so many times. But we're gonna get the oil drained, get this thing ready to go, prime this thing one more time just to get some fluid on everything. The timing's set now. The rockers are back on, the valve covers are back on, everything's buttoned up except for like the water pump and stuff like that and the belt, and we should be good to fire this thing up. So let's do that. Look at that nice drip. There she is. Okay, so we are topped off on fluids. Everything is good to go now. We checked the fluid level. Everything's hooked up. We should be set. The timing should be right. Plug wires are hooked up. Everything is hooked up. We should be good to go to fire this thing up. We have coolant in the radiator. We got our beautiful Walmart oil in here, and we should be good to fire this thing up. I'm just super scared, absolutely terrified. We have no exhaust on right now. We have straight up just headers dumping out. So, oh, we got some people riding horses out here. I don't know if you guys see. They're about to have a rude awakening when they hear this pony fire up. But we're gonna go ahead and try to pump this thing up. I need to prime the oil pump and everything, prime the oil through one more time. Get some gas into the carb, get everything primed up, ready to go, and then we're gonna try and fire this thing up. So let me do that real quick. Now guys, we're just gonna disconnect the coil. So I'll put a little quick connect on there. So do that, we'll prime this thing real quick, and then we're gonna try and fire it up. I put the battery on charge last night, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Everything's sealed, everything's ready to go. It's time. Sounds way better. Okay guys, everything's sounding, the engine's sounding a lot better now. It has compression now, so you guys can hear it. It's starting to move, the engine, it's starting to move a little bit. Beforehand, it just sounded like basically just a starter and a crank spinning. So there's a little bit of force behind this, but we're primed. Want to prime the fuel system real quick, and then we're gonna be good to go to start this thing up. But I'm super scared. Shelby's super scared. But there's only one way to find out if this thing will run, and that is to go in there, turn the key right now, and fire her up. So pray with me, guys, and let's see if she'll start. Let me hook this back up before I forget about it. Oh, it runs! Holy crap, dude. It fired up. It actually fired up. You hear that? Ah. Ah. Alright, let's try to get it to actually run now, okay? Oh my. It's running! Yes! 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 It runs! It runs! Yes! It started! It actually started! Yes! Alright, guys, it doesn't sound great right now because the timing's not perfect and we got to figure out a few things, and it's open headers right now, so it's super loud and it sounds terrible, but it actually started up. I cannot like, I built this entire engine from the ground up. I rebuilt this entire engine by myself with no experience, and it just fired up. So that is just such a big milestone for me. I'm not going to run in open headers a lot. I'm going to go ahead, put the exhaust on, get that situation. We actually have to weld the exhaust back together because we may have cut it off trying to get it off. So we're gonna have to weld it back together, but put the exhaust on, put the hangers on, and then put the, what is it called? Put the fan on, put the belt on, put all that on, and then I need to tighten up the fitting for that fuel pump because it's leaking a little bit. And I think we should be good to go. I'm kind of worried about the trans. We might need a new output shaft bearing, but we'll get to that when we get there. All right, everything else is looking good right now, so I'm going to start putting the exhaust back on and all that stuff like that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Alright, so we got one side of the exhaust buttoned up. On the car, we have to work on the other side. So whenever we took this pipe off, we had to cut it right here. Just because we hadn't have the linkage, we were just having a serious problem. Instead of like actually kind of working around it, we just cut it off because I thought we were going to have long tube headers, but that didn't work out. What we're going to do here is just take this here, butt her right how she's supposed to be on there, and then weld her back together with the old MIG. So do a little bit of fabrication in the shop, and yeah, we'll get this thing back on. So let's do it.
Alex and I were trying to go here within a couple hours, and so I was trying to conserve the gear. So I was using it very often so he gives it back to me, and so I was essentially just trying to conserve gear. I wasn't placing enough. The same way before, and I was like, no, I can leave it all the time.
So he felt like he did the same. So he had a call from someone else. I mean, that's the road. So he's free soloing.
Well, guys, not the prettiest things in the world, but they will get the job done. Not too bad. Haven't welded in a while, but hey, got the job done, and it won't leak. So that's really all that matters. But shut up. Gonna go ahead and put that thing under the car. Then we're gonna start working on the front accessories, getting a pump on, all the belts, fans, all that good stuff, and then hopefully fire this thing up again. But okay. Guys, we are set here. I cannot believe it. This thing usually takes, like, honestly, at least 45 minutes to get done, because just getting these nuts lined up, because I had to do with, like, just a really custom setup to make sure the pulley's lined up. So I had to space it out right, get everything kind of set up right, do a different thing. And I did it first try, so it's got to be good luck. Maybe we're gonna get good luck now, but everything's buttoned up. I do need to go buy a new filter because the one I have now is too tall, and you can see it was hitting the whatchamacallit, the hood. A couple other things, exhaust. We do need to let the donut rings on the exhaust sit overnight because I forgot I put that cement on there. So we are not going to be firing up this video. We did get to start though, so that's awesome. Next video we're going to go ahead and do the 30 minutes or 20 minutes of like idling, getting that done, getting that knocked out, and then hopefully on the test drive if I can fix up all the little knickknacks and stuff and get this thing ready to move on its own weight. So a lot of new moving parts, but next video we should have this thing on the road, I hope, and we're gonna see if this transmission holds up. I've said it a couple times, a little worried about it. I don't know. We really should have pulled it out with the whole engine, but as soon as I got the engine back in, I really started looking at it and I found some metal flakes in the oil when I drained it out of it, and we're in a leak from the rear tail housing. And I don't know, it's a long story. If the transmission goes out, then we are definitely going to swap in a different trans. So that should be interesting. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Hopefully we don't. But anything's possible. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the support. I know the content's kind of slowed down a little bit because I'm just trying to get this engine together, get everything assembled. But we finally have an engine back together in a running car. A running car. I can't. It's been a long time coming to say that. I'm super proud. I thank you guys a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're getting real close. I think we're at 600 some now. So if I can get to 1,000, that's when I get started getting paid, and that is when, hopefully, if we go into another quarantine, I can still make some money doing this the whole time. So anyway, I thank you guys a ton. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and talk to you next time. Deuces.